Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, wherever you are, welcome to Footy with Fruity. Yes, the first ever episode, football talk. I cannot wait. Big Tiger fan myself. Gonna upload this to YouTube, upload it to Instagram. Go follow the Instagram, Footy with Fruity. Go subscribe to all the YouTube stuff, Footy with Fruity. It's all simple stuff, mate. Come chat footy with myself, Fruity. So, what we're gonna do is, we've finished round 3, but because it's the first video on the channel, on the page, I'm going to give you my season predictions, my ladder predictions, which teams I think are going to take home the flag at the end of the year. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. Starting off in 18th position, and I know it's going to be controversial, North Melbourne. North Melbourne. You lot stink. 17th position, Adelaide Crows. I've seen good stuff from them so far this year, but I'm trying to consider it is only round 3. We see teams start very well. Gold Coast are a team that tend to start quite well and then dip off near the end. But I've got Adelaide in 17th position. I do like what I'm seeing with them though. Tex Walker, looking unbelievable. Next up, 16th, GWS. Tough injuries this week. Cornelio, Phil Davis. They look like they've got to struggle a bit this year, I'm not going to lie. They look like they could be in struggle town, ladies and gentlemen. 15th position, we've got Fremantle. Disappointing loss to Carlton this week, but I think Fremantle with Fife missing again for probably next week or so. I think Fremantle could struggle a bit. Good list, but I don't think they're there yet. 14th position, we've got Gold Coast. Again, Jared Witts today coming out with an ACL injury, which is only going to hold them even more. But I think 14th, if they can be competitive in most games again, and then maybe next year, hopefully Matty Rao stays fit, can maybe contend for that top 8, I think they'll be happy. But I think Gold Coast have just got to keep on getting wins underway, keep on getting points on the board, and they should be happy days. 13th position though, I've got the Bombers. They blew out St Kilda this week, blew them out with a lot of injuries too. But again, it's early on in the season. Is this a win that I can see them having in round 20? Probably not, but I think the Bombers, 13th, I think they're going to struggle a bit. But I don't think as bad as what people think they will struggle. Good Archie Perkins, looks like a good little young player. 12th position is Carlton. Now, I might have cheated by doing this in round 3 because I might have had them up higher. Not the top 8, but I might have had them around 10th. But a couple of injuries to Fisher. I think we're seeing Murphy just doesn't look up to scratch. Casbolt, players like this who could kind of force them, should be able to force themselves out of the team with like the likes of Liam Stocker. Liam Stocker had massive raps on him, can't get a game. So Carlton is interesting. Is the game evolving too fast for Patrick Cripps? You know, Patrick Cripps hasn't been able to be as effective. Sammy Walsh though, unbelievable. Very, very, very underrated. For some reason, all these youngsters like Connor Rosie, Zach Butters, who are obviously unbelievable players as well. Sam Walsh has kind of just been under the radar for some reason. Number 1 draft pick, unbelievable player, Sammy Walsh. 11th position though, the team that got blown out this week, St Kilda. I don't think they're going to make the 8. They've got aspirations of making the 8, even making the top 5. I think those are gone. I think St Kilda, 11. I think the Paddy Ryder issue of him taking time is huge and something that's no one's really spoken about. I think Paddy Ryder missing for St Kilda and Bradley Hill not being on form is major issues. 10th position, I got Hawthorn. Someone who I probably would have put as high, but I think the new rule might help. Alistair Clarkson is a genius coach. I don't think they're going to win games comfortably, but like we saw against Geelong, where they put in a good shift. They put in a good shift against Richmond too, and I think they might scrape a couple of wins here and there. But I think mainly because teams below them might not be doing as well is why they could be 10th. Now 9th position, famous number 9. I hate this team. Try not to be biased, but I've got Collingwood. Finished 9th. I know, call it controversial, call it whatever you want. I think this is Buckley's last year. I think they're missing something. I'm going to say it again, they're missing goals. Everyone says it, but they're missing. Jordan De Goey, I think, is one of the most overrated players in the AFL. Do not like Jordan De Goey. Again, I'm a Richmond fan, so I'm trying not to be biased. However, I just think, I'm looking at that top 8, I'm like, I see 8 teams better than Collingwood right now. Let me know what you think. But I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to Collingwood finishing 9th. I think it's going to be close. I don't think they're going to be blown out. I think if Collingwood do make the 8, the highest they finish is 7th. But I think a Pendlebury in this new forward role, I think is a cheeky little player too. I think it's a very, very good move. by Buckley. However, I do think it is his last year. Heading into the top 8, I'm going for Melbourne. And every year, I think Melbourne are one of the most overhyped teams. And I see the hype of why, but they always disappoint. I think Petrarca this year is the key for them. Maxi Gorn, obviously a very solid player. Cozzy Pickett. Oh my days, Cozzy Pickett. What a little jet you are, son. But again, Melbourne, they've let me down a lot. And I don't think they're as good as what people always think that this is their best start to a season since 2005, something like that, 3-0. I want to see what they're like in round 18. I want to see what they're like when they play Port Adelaide in Adelaide, round 20 when it's close to the finals. Can they do it then? I've got doubts that they can. I think they've got to contest, obviously, but I've got doubts that they can really, really make a big claim for themselves heading into the finals, which is why I've got them 8th. Now in 7th position, and I wish I started this footy with Fruity earlier because I had Sydney being a smoky for the 8. Now the performances they've put on, they broke my heart last week. I've got Sydney finishing 7th. I think people might start having them higher, but they are a young team. They are inexperienced. Can't wait to see Buddy back in full fight. Like, he's one of my favourite players ever. So to see Buddy, just want to see him play and get a good couple last years into him and hopefully score 1,000 goals, which will be absolute scenes. I think Sydney will finish 7th. Good team, excited. They remind me of the Richmond 2017, just a young, hungry team, and they're going to step up to whichever challenge is thrown at them. Very, very solid team. In 6th, I've got Brisbane. Now Brisbane, this is probably one of the ones where I'm a bit iffy on, because they're a good team, good list. Joey Danaher looks comfortable there now in that Brisbane outfit, but I think there's just, I don't know. I think they might have lost the hunger, or maybe teams have worked them out, or maybe it's a confidence issue, because for years now Brisbane have been that team that can challenge over that team, and they've kind of dropped short most of the time. I think it could be a bit of confidence, but it's still very early on in the season. I think Brisbane will make the 6. I don't think they'll make the 4. I don't think they'll really challenge for the flag either, but I think Brisbane will be there, will challenge teams here and there. In 5th position, I've got Geelong. So I think Geelong, I don't like Geelong. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like Geelong. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't like Geelong. I think they're, again, a little bit overhyped, like a Melbourne. Obviously, they made the grand final last year, so you could be saying, Costa, what the hell are you talking about later, mate? But it's the Richmond curse. That's what I'm going to say. It's the Richmond curse. Richmond beat Adelaide in the grand final. Look what we did to Adelaide. Richmond beat GWS in the preliminary final. And the grand final, so look what we did to GWS, mate. Now, adios amigos. Geelong this year, they just beat Brisbane, in which they probably shouldn't have beat Brisbane. They just beat Hawthorn after being like 35 points up. To me, it doesn't look like a team that is very cohesive with each other, and that a team that understands their role and has that ambition to take it to the top where they were last year. I could come back to buy my words, but I've got Geelong finishing outside the 4, which takes us, ladies and gentlemen, to the top 4 position. In 4th spot, I have got Port Adelaide. I think Port Adelaide at home are dangerous, but the way they got smacked to West Coast was scary, scary stuff. Huge game this Friday night, Richmond versus Port Adelaide, where if you say last week, it's probably first versus second. However, now you look at it, Richmond just got smacked to Sydney. Port Adelaide just got whooped by West Coast. Now you've got two teams who are in very different positions, because if either of these, both teams now go, we need to win this, and it's round 4. Because Richmond lose to Port in a comfortable way, you sit there and go, oh shit, okay, where do we stand? If Port Adelaide lose to Richmond at home, you go, oh shit, where do we stand? And so last year's preliminary final between these two teams was unbelievable. Had me in that corner with a pillow creeping down. I was terrified. Stomach was turning, stomach was doing mental stuff. Friday night blockbuster game. Come on, you Tigers, mate. Thursday, third position. I've got the Western Bulldogs, and I was a bit hesitant to put them in third, just because I try not to get into all the hype. I've got them in third because Adam Treloar is taking that job offer from the Western Bulldogs, and he said, I didn't want it, but I'm going to take it. I want it, I got it, as Ariana Grande says, mate. Looking like an absolute treat in the red, white and blue. Bontempelli looks good, Norton looks good, Easton Wood put in a good shift on the weekend also, Van der Meer Good list, Bulldogs. Good list. I don't think they'll make the granny. I'll take you to who I think will make the grand final, but I don't think they will. Just because, I don't know. Just because I think, I'll take you to who I think will make the granny. If I say second, then you've got to know first. In first spot, I've got West Coast, which obviously means second position, I've got the Tigers. I think West Coast of Richmond this year, once again, will be the teams to beat. I think West Coast will be on top of the ladder by a comfortable margin. I've got to go and say, I think they'll be on top by a bit. They had injuries last year. West Coast at Optus Stadium is terrifying. It is. You saw what they did to Port Adelaide. Nick Natanui, he's got to have a whole season now again where he's fit. He had last year, which with COVID and all that, which maybe was a bit interesting. He got the best and fairest. If he could have now a whole proper length season at Optus, coming over to the MCG, West Coast are going to look very, very scary. And I watched the documentary. West Coast do not take any shit, man. West Coast are just ruthless. But I try not to be biased. I've got the Tigers in second, just because with the Tigers, mate, you're a champion team. You don't lose it straight away unless you're Adelaide, lol, and GWS, lol. But the Tigers are just dangerous. Dusty was very quiet. Sydney did rattle us. Sydney rattled us a lot. I think there's a couple of injury issues with Hooley. I think he's got to come back. He played in practice game against Collingwood, but Vlosten's obviously out. Cochin was a bit touch and go last week. Touch and go whether he plays this Friday. There's a couple. Presti obviously went out also, so it could be interesting. I do think some changes. I think Josh Caddy has to get dropped. I think some changes. I would have said Riley Collier Dawkins, good player. I think changes need to be made, and Noah Bolter is my knight in shining armour. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Have I got my predictions absolutely wrong? Drop it in the comments what your predictions are. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow if you're on the Instagram. Thank you for watching. If you love this new show, new series, check it out. Footy with Fruity. Thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want me to interview someone, drop them in the comments. Tag people in the comments that you want me to interview. Hopefully they see it, because then I've got a cool little concept. 15 with Fruity. 15-minute interview, 15 questions. Thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow. That's right.